Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just gone on to Bitcoin. But the CoinsKid cruise, so Bitcoin, look at it, floating above that 100k. It's doing incredibly well. At the moment it's 1.7% above its bull market support band, this BMS. And you can get this into your charts. I did make an indicator for this particular section called the bull market support band. Just click that link on coinskid.com and you can drop it into your trading view charts. And it's the same for every single token that you're looking at. Okay, the bull market support. If you're trending above that in higher highs and high lows, you're in an uptrend. If you're trending below that in lower lows and lower highs, then obviously you're in that downtrend. So the bull market support is really important. It's a very important indicator that create for yourselves. It gives us the overall macro trend. You don't want to be trending below that for too long on your coins, because if you are, obviously that's the trend, that's the macro trend, and the trend is your friend until the end. For example, Bitcoin was trending below that all of 2022. It broke out in, I think it was late 2022 into early 2023 right there, and from there, just respecting the bull market support band, it's been bullish ever since. But at some point it will begin to trend below that, and when it does, obviously the trend is your friend until we end, and we have to respect that. So at the moment the trend is, simply it's trending above that. So Ethereum, again, that was basically way back there in April. It was around about 40% below its bull market support band, and look at it, it's absolutely bolted. I think a few weeks ago we actually had a macro sell zone warning on Ethereum. Like I said to you, if you're buying Ethereum here, you're doing it wrong, and then boom, we're pulling back into that BMS right now, the bull market support band. Will it hold? I don't know, time will tell. But what I'm looking at for Ethereum right now on the micro, regardless, I think we've got to buy on Ethereum, okay, because we're pulling back, everyone's getting really fearful. But Ethereum on the micro is telling us to buy it. So I'm going to look at the Ethereum chart with you. Why should we buy Ethereum? So we look at the micro, this is the 15-minute time frame. We've got a massive bullish divergence down here between the MACD and obviously the RSI as well. But I want to see something on a higher time frame. So I'm going to zoom on the 4-hour, which is a really important time frame. So if you take a look at this peak just there, we've got this drop, okay, come up, and then we dropped again. Now if you take a look here from this peak, 1, 2, waterfall 3, 4, 5. So from this zone here, we're in 5-wave territory here with a buy signal, on the micro, and equally what we're getting is a printed bullish divergence right now, and obviously on the MACD really overextend on the 4-hour with another bullish divergence. If you take a look on the 4-hour, we've got bullish divergence building here, so pay attention, keep an eye on the chart. Go to the 4-hourly time frame on coinskid.com for Ethereum. Take a look at this divergence. If you print this bullish divergence, we may start to see a little uptick here for Ethereum because it's quite oversold with a buy signal on the micro time frame with a spike up in the LD. So if we take a look at Ethereum right now, there is a god kind of back test that's in the chart straight off the bat. You've got your descending triangle just there for Ethereum where we broke down. This is the 4-hourly time frame. Is your descending triangle. 1 point support, resistance, and then you broke down that 3rd point support just there. So you came down to support, resistance, support, lower high, dropped, okay? And this is the descending triangle. You've come down in a 3. This looks like a 4, a final 5th with bullish divergence for me. With the micro buy that I'm seeing for Ethereum and the spike up in liquidity, I'll entertain a little long on Ethereum, okay? Because all it's doing, if you take a look, got kind of back test just there. So this may rally into this resistance here over the next few days. And it just offers a little long opportunity. Is it a massive long opportunity? Probably not. It's not life-changing money, but it's a little 9% appreciation potential trade in front of us because of bullish divergence. The fact that we see 5 waves in this leg to the downside, possibly retrace before another drop, okay? And I think what we've got for Ethereum is it's ramped up and we've got some kind of flat correction, basically. The A into the 3-wave, B into the basically a C wave, which is coming down right now for Ethereum. So, it's not a massive position, but it's just trading the micro time frames. Just there, we've got a little bit of a neckline for Ethereum. Where possibly, you start to take out that channel, you fall in this channel, oh no, it's going to 0 with bullish divergence, you take it out, back test, see you later. You're up at that level of resistance, 4428. Because of the god candle back test just there. That's my primary outlook for Ethereum. So I'll be dropping this long into the CoinsKid Discord, and it was just brought to my attention, simply by the micro index right there. So keep an eye on the 4-hourly time frame. If this prints a bullish divergence and we start to see a retracement back up, I will be looking for that level of resistance just there, around about 4428 to take profit on my long right there. And that's just simple micro trading. And the reason I was looking at it, because the micro signal was telling me to buy Ethereum. Let's take a quick look at the radar right now for Ethereum as well. So the radar is pulling back on the 4-hour. All the time frames are pulling back as well. And we've got overextension on the 4-hour to tether dominance as well. So right now I actually think we've got a nice little long opportunity on Ethereum. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart. If you want to get involved in all this, the radar, the buy signals, the futures blocks or whatever, then jump into the CoinsKid crew Discord right there. The link's in the video description. Let's dive into the Bitcoin chart, see what we can see, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame at the moment, I've created this indicator for yourselves called the start of the top. Now, will it play out again in this cycle? I don't know. I've not got a crystal ball. I can't see into the future. But again, it's just a simple data moving average that I've created for yourselves. It's called you know, the start of the top. Really simple. So what it is really simple. Whenever we see the previous pivot high, the previous impulse broken by the start of the top indicator, it means that you're in top territory. Look at that, okay? And then you're coming up, you're coming up, you're coming up, and then you break the previous pivot high, and boom, you're in top territory. Look at that, okay? And then you're coming up, you're coming up, you're coming up, and then you get your true top just there, which is your value top against the, you know, currency, which is basically the dollar. That's your true value top, and what we've got is the ribbon breaking that previous pivot high. So, you know, the start of the top, and then we rolled. We've got our ass back above the, you know, the bull market support band, the BMS. You know, we're trending above it. Beautiful. If you take a look at 2022, we're trending below it, below it, below it. Boom, get our ass above it, above it, above it. Got a little bit squeaky bum time there, but we identified a buying opportunity there with the beautiful bump and run pattern, the 5 waves down, the diamond bottom pattern just there. And in recent times, for anyone paying attention, again, we've got a lovely another bump and run pattern of 5 wave move to the downside. 1, 2, waterfall 3, come up into the BMS, drop again, and then boom, we broke to the upside. So whenever you see 5 waves down on micro macro, like I've always taught you, it is a buying opportunity, okay, against herd mentality. And that's what, you know, I was showing you way back there in April. So we've come back up, we're holding a BMS currently. If we can continue to hold it, fantastic. But if we do drop, we're looking for 5 waves down in the leg to the downside. And again, it'll be a buying opportunity. So I just want to show you that basically the start of the top is not here, because in every single cycle, that called it, that called it, that called it. So we've seen 1, 2, 3 instances of the cycle top being in, because, you know, you start at the top band, pierced the previous impulsive high. So that was your previous impulsive high, you pierced it, top was in. That was your previous impulsive high, you pierced it, your top was in. And right now we just don't see it. The band's trending up, obviously, but in time, if it starts to trend, breaks the previous pivot high, which is roughly 69k of that impulse just there, then boom, you know, it's the start of the top. So just keep an eye on it. If it's not, obviously it rolls over, you know, falls through the BMS and falls through the band like it did there, then obviously it's broken. But at the moment, I'm just relaying the data to you that potentially this could be part of the confidence that the reason why the top's not in yet is because we've not seen the start of the top trigger in this particular indicator. And again, it could break, who knows, no one's got a crystal ball, it could run out of steam, no one knows, okay? It's just a little data point that I found for you. 2 moving averages, really simple. Whenever they break the previous pivot high in the chart, it's the start of the top. That's why I've called it the start of the top. Really, really simple, okay? So I've not quite released it just yet. I'll get it out. I'm just fine-tuning it for you, but I'll get it out to the CoinsKid crew. It'll be part of your premium package, okay? It'll be on CoinsKid.com and accessible to all of those that are already VIP members. Let's dive into the micro time frame for Bitcoin to see what we can see. Looking at Bitcoin on daily time frame at the moment, we've not seen the trigger point of, you know, the start of the top indicator right there, which is we've seen every single cycle. And one thing that may be a little bit of confidence we on the cusp of that into Q4 is the fact that we've got liquidity trending up the crystal ball. So this is something that shouldn't necessarily be ignored, because way down here it was trending up as well, and Bitcoin was rolling over, bottoming down there. Just here it was trending up, and Bitcoin was bottoming down here. You know, so we need to pay attention to the liquidity that's actually in the market, and this is why I create the crystal ball, because, you know, this is basically setting the future. Because what it is, money gets printed and it trickles down into the system. Usually takes around about 7 weeks. This is why you're seeing this projected future, you know, trend, because it's liquidity sloshing in the market. So basically, we ramped up in September. We have that correction into early October, and then it continues. And this is exactly what we're doing. You know, you come up into September, and a lot of charts, even Bitcoins, come up into September, and then boom, you pull back, and then you go again. So what I'm looking at, if we've entered some kind of ABC zigzag just there, which is potential, and we've come up in a 1 and we're pulling back in some kind of zigzag 2 like this, it would be a beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern, and equally an Adam and Eve bottom pattern as well after the end of a correction right there. Okay, so that would be my primary at the moment. ABC, hold this support, coil up and go with liquidity into Q4. Trigger the, you know, the start of the top warning right there, and then we're looking at the waterfall and the Bitcoin dominance. So let's zoom in on the lower time frames of Bitcoin right now and see what we can see. But this is your support for that theory in the short term. It's this low that we put in I think it was early September right there. That's your support, because potentially we've seen an impulse here, and right now we're going through an ABC zigzag correction as anticipated as we roll up and push up into September because of liquidity and the crystal ball right there. So get this in your charts, really simple. Go to CoinsKid.com, where you can clearly see breakout sideways, breakout sideways, breakout, breakout, pull back, breakout, breakout, sideways, sideways, breakout, breakout. Will be absolutely amazing if we continue to, you know, correlate with the crystal ball right there. But, you know, this is one of the confluencing factors why the past few weeks I've been looking at a pullback because of the crystal ball for those people who've been paying attention. So I've been looking for 5 waves up on the micro time frames on a lot of coins, and I've been shorting them coins with a lot of success when people have been really greedy and FOMO-y on them particular coins. So let's dive into low time frames, see what we can see for Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame at the moment, I think what we've got is, we're broken this resistance, we're currently holding its support, we're looking for this swing high, swing low, find support, and up we go. And that will be the bullish scenario to continue into Q4 with the liquidity, as represented in the crystal ball right there. But obviously I'm looking for the validation. And I think in the short term, if we do start to see Bitcoin losing this support just there, that could become quite bearish for Bitcoin going forward, okay? And it could open a trapdoor to a bigger correction than actually anticipate here. And it could say, okay, well, we're in a bigger correction than anybody anticipates, because it could actually indicate that from this point here, you've been in a macro ABC zigzag correction and you're doing something like that for Bitcoin. It's possible, and we saw something quite similar in 2021, okay? And this is why we've not necessarily seen your alt season and things like that, because Bitcoin's just pulling a pants down basically. And what we saw is a trigger point in late 2024 with the retail top being triggered right there, the dumb money indicator. That was indeed your cycle top of an impulse there for Bitcoin, XRP, so on and so forth. Now, it's currently not my primary. I think what we've experienced is an ABC zigzag correction into the lows into April, and we've seen an impulsive move, corrective move, an impulsive move, and right now this is your support for that. But obviously anything can change. This is, Elliott Wave's so subjective, but what we've got here, in my opinion, you see this little move here, this was the A, this was a B, this was a C. This is a micro version of this macro ABC zigzag, where basically the B wave made the bull trap high. This was a bull trap high, as like this. You come down in 3 waves, come up in 3 waves, come down in 3 waves, come up in 3 waves. Then you've had your 1, 2, waterfall 3, 4, 5 drop, 1, 2, waterfall 3, 4, 5 drop here for Bitcoin. So this is a micro version of this macro A, B, C zigzag correction, okay? And I think this is what we've gone through in the short term. So if that's the case, you're coming up impulsively, you're going sideways, you're looking to continue. Coming up impulsively, going sideways, looking to continue. So this retracement could get quite nasty, because if this is a true bottom just there for Bitcoin, which is possible, it would indicate, okay, what we've done from this high, okay, we've retraced into this low here and found support on the golden ratio. So it would look a little bit like this, okay? So basically, Bitcoin peaked here in 5 waves, come down in the A, come up in the B, came down in the C. So you've had a simple zigzag correction. This was a bigger one. This is a micro one. Then from here, you've broken impulsively, gone sideways, calling up, and then you continue. Broken up, coming sideways in a potential ABC, and you're looking to continue. So that would be my primary at the moment. So obviously the invalidation in the short term is this. Now, if we break down any lower than this, we have to hold this support. And I need to get these levels in there. I do apologise. So, I've not got a crystal ball, can't see into the future, although the crystal ball is showing that liquidity is flowing into the market and we do push up into Q4. So that is a primary support. That is a monumental level of support for me, because, what I'm looking at right now, if we was to break down below that support, it could open a trapdoor to a deeper correction there for Bitcoin. So in the short term, that's your micro support, this low here, 107,211. What we could be doing for Bitcoin is simple, A, B, C zigzag. We're breaking impulsively, come up, got this ABC zigzag that's coming back. It's getting quite nasty, but this could be a lovely Adam and Eve bottom from here. Some kind of Adam and Eve bottom that does something like this. Comes down, oh no, it's going to 0, then breaks this neckline, and then it's gone into Q4. So that will be my primary. So the support for that is 107,211. But if we break down below that, then obviously we're going to entertain the fact that I'm completely wrong, and we are looking at, holding 98,370. Now, if we break down below 98,770, it changes the game completely, and I've gone through that with you on the XRP chart. It means that this is a 3-wave move to the upside. This is a 3-wave move up. It's a corrective move from this low. It doesn't mean it's impulsive, and one of the earliest signs of that would be if we lost that low at 98,370. At that point, okay, we could entertain the fact we've got an A into a B into a C here for Bitcoin, and this was the top of an impulse in late 2024 right there. So I'll leave you that, but obviously I've not got a crystal ball, but in the short term I'm looking at holding this potential Adam and Eve bottom pattern, looking at this retracement, ABC kicking in early October. We start to flourish, start to go up the stairs and break out and go into price discovery, and at that point we should be looking at the trigger point of the start of the top indicator and many other things as well, which tell us the top's in, which we just don't see. We didn't see it at this time frame, and we've not saw it at this time frame either. And it's really simple. It's the waterfall in the Bitcoin dominance, and it's the structure within Bitcoin itself, where within a matter of weeks it's in a sharp rug pull, and we've just not seen it. Whether or not this time's different, time will tell, but that is my primary outlook at the moment. We've got an ABC, we've come up, we're pulling back into this support, we coil up, oh no, it's going to zero, if we can create this Adam and Eve bottom, break out back to see you later. Q4 looks quite tasty, you know, for respecting the structure in this chart. This is paramount to hold this low. It's the same low on XRP. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, you are now retracing to this low, which is bounced off the golden ratio, which is a nice level of support for Bitcoin. So all eyes on Bitcoin. It holds all the clues, okay? Hope you enjoyed the update. Stay off, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back soon with an update on Bitcoin. Bye-bye.